Hello, hello, hello again. Today we are going to be talking about shapes and forms. And we know in the art room, sometimes we talk about how shapes are flat and forms are fat. So shapes have something called 2 dimensions. So we're talking about shapes. They are flat. They are 2-dimensional. 2 dimensions means they have height and they have width. Those are the dimensions that we're talking about. So a square is going to have the same height and width. Same height and width as each other. So same height, same width, same height. A circle, even though it does not have straight edges, it still has height. It still has width. We know other shapes have names like triangle, rectangle, and even trapezoid. And as long as we are drawing a line and the 2 ends of those lines touch, it's a shape. These shapes have names. They're geometric shapes. Some shapes are a little bit more organic. But as long as the 2 ends of that line touches, good to go. It's still a shape. That's a shape. That's not a shape. It looks like it wants to be a shape, but it's not a shape yet. The 2 ends of those lines have to touch. So there we go. Now we've got a shape. So shapes are flat, but forms are fat. They have 3 dimensions. Some people call those space shapes. So the same 2 dimensions that shapes have, forms have them too, but they have one more. So we've got height, just like before. We've got width, just like before, but also we have depth. Okay? So our square is flat, so it's a shape. But a cube would be fat. A triangle is flat. But a cone would be fat. A rectangle is flat. But a cylinder would be fat. Okay. So this is where it's going to get some tricky stuff. We're going to talk about texture too. Texture is how something feels. Okay. We're going to get some flat paper, but we're going to build it up. So we're going to take some flat things, build it up to give it texture, and that's going to give it a little bit of form too. So what I'm going to ask you to do is grab some scissors, some glue. Glue stick is fine. I have a glue bottle because that's what I have here. If I had a glue stick, that's what we would use. And you're going to get some different papers. So I'm going to get just a scrap of paper that I have from my art space. I'm actually going to get some cardboard too. And I want to get one more just regular sheet of paper. This is perfect. And that's what we're going to use to draw or to glue on. Sorry about that. Okay, so this is going to be my background. And you don't have to make these really big. We are going to make something called a collograph. And collograph comes from the French word collage. That word means to glue, and we're going to be gluing down. So if you've been with me before in 2nd grade, we did something, a collograph of an animal, and we printed them. But you don't always have to print them. And for my little people today, we're not going to print them, but you can at your house. I don't care. That's up to you. All I want want you to do today is just to cut some shapes. Okay, so if you wanted to cut that circle, we know that we're going to start with something that looks like a square, and you're going to give me a chocolate chip, baby chip, baby chip. Turn it, chocolate chip, baby chip, baby chip. Turn it, chocolate chip, baby chip, baby chip. Turn it, chocolate chip, baby chip, baby chip. I'm going to cut off just a little bit more because I did not have a perfect square. And I might even use some of those triangles so my trash can become treasure. And I'm going to glue it down. I see this is closed because I see the white dot. I'm going to open it. Check to see that it's breathing. And shake, shake, shake. Dot, dot, not a lot. For my cardboard, I'm going to try to peel some of this off because I really like how this feels. I like its texture because it feels bumpy and lumpy. And I might not be able to get all of it off, but that's okay. So what are we doing here? Well, we're going to try to build up our paper, build up our shapes to see if we can make it have more dimension, to see if we can make it have more depth. Remember, shapes only have height and width. This is flat. It's only got height and width. It's not very deep. It's very, very flat. But I think that if we do a good job of building some shapes up, it might be able to be kind of deep. We might be able to see that it's starting to have some depth to it. And of course, if you want to make it an actual picture of something, you can. I'm just doing shapes because that's what I want to do today. But what I want to do might not be what you want to do. But these different papers are going to be different thicknesses. So that's where it kind of makes it fun. Oh, there we go. Just do a little half circle. And one more. Okay. So when you think you're done, before we do our next step, I want you to make a prediction, which we know is an educated guess. If I were to cover this up and color over it with a crayon, do you think that we would see all of the different layers? This paper's really skinny. It's really flat. I know I'm probably going to see the stuff that sticks up the most, which is the cardboard. But do we think we're going to see the really super, super, super flat paper? Well, let's see if we can figure it out. So you're going to need to get a crayon, probably a darker color like purple or blue, green or black. And it's best, I know this sounds crazy, if it's a broken one, and even better if it's naked. So we're going to take off all the paper. And the reason that you want a crayon with no paper is because we're not going to hold it like this. We want to hold it like this and use the side of the crayon. So let's see. I'm excited. I'm excited to test it. Okay, so when I cover it up, I know that I've got some cardboard pieces. Those are kind of poofier than the flat white pieces, but we're going to see. I'm excited. Oh my gosh. It did show up. It did show up. even though that paper was really super flat, it still showed up. It still made a texture. Oh my gosh, you know what else made a texture? My glue dots. Isn't that silly? That one looks like a Lego down there. We knew that cardboard was going to show up, right? But we didn't know, or maybe you did, that the white paper was going to show up too. We could have figured it out if you close your eyes and let these tools be your investigation tools. You can feel the difference. You can feel it, right? And we know that texture is how something feels. So even though those items are really super flat, they still make a really awesome texture plate. These are called collagraphs because we glued things on. Now later, if you wanted to, you can very, very carefully paint a thin layer of paint over it and make a print. You would take a thin layer of paint, paint it over, put your paper on top, and pull it off, and it would look like a stamp. Okay, hope you enjoyed. And of course, you still got your collagraph, so you can make way more than one of these. You could make like 10. Have a great day. See you later.